I read 17 books in 2025 and I want to read 26 for 2026. So welcome to today's video where I talk about my 17 reads that I read this year and give you a little review on those books and give my personal rating for each one of them, and also discuss the few books that I want to read in this year. Towards the end of the video, I will discuss how I was able to read so many books and how you can do it too, so keep on watching. So the first book that I read and finished was Ask for Andrea by Noel West Ilhi. I hope I'm not pronouncing the names and the surnames wrong. If I do, please just excuse me. The very first book of 2025 was an audible read and I gave it a 3.75 star because it was an amazing read. I think I finished it very quickly. For reference, I am using Fable. Here's my review that I thought of. The POV from different characters along with the different timelines made it interesting and gripping. Finished it in less than 24 hours. The next book I read a physical copy. It's called It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. So I also then, because I wanted to also watch the movie or the series, whatever that was, I also wanted to read it because I already had the book. Now in terms of the movie and the reading part, I did not like the movie that much. I feel थोड़े बहुत changes हुए हैं from the movie, from the book to the movie. But in terms of reading, I gave it like a 3 stars. It's a good read. It's like a one-time read, honestly, for me. Because I'm not much of a romance reader, even though I did read a lot of romance books in this year. Initially, just a quick FYI, I used to think that reading is only something that I would spend my time on if I could take away something from it. So for me, self-help book was the way to go to read, and I would think reading other books and spending time on that was just pointless. But now that I've read 17 books, I think it was just so dumb of me to think so. Then I read Twisted Hate. Now this is from Anna Huang. There's this Twisted series, and I heard the first book on Audible. I think most of the books I've heard on Audible. So this was the second book in the series. I've given it like a 3 stars. For me, again, this was because Twisted Love was so good. I wanted to go through the whole series, but I did not like it that much. It was like a okay shit, so 3 stars for me. And yeah, it's from haters to lovers wala situation, and it was okay-ish. Next I read was Frida McFadden's Do Not Disturb. I've given it 3.5 stars. I would have given it a 4-star rating, but I felt it was a little rushed towards the end. But overall, it was a good read, it kept me hooked, and the end was, I think Frida does amazing ends when it comes to her books, her novels. Oh my god, they are gripping, they will keep you on your toes, and it's just too much. They are mind-boggling. Next book I read, The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros, and oh my god, it was such an emotional read for me. Like in the very beginning, I didn't have much to talk about or kind of say about the book, but I loved it. I'm going to read the Fable review so it's easier for you also to understand, and it will go back to the time when I actually read it and reviewed it, because abhi main review dena chahogi is going to be a little different than what I've written. I loved the book. It was one of the first from this author, made me cry a little. It was beautifully written, और उसमें ना Fable में there are options कि ये book किस type की है, ये है वो है, तो उसमें से I've chosen multi-layered. There is war and violence, and it takes getting used to. Like I said, starting में मुझे उस पर कुछ feel नहीं हो रहा था. I was just listening, and I think this is also an audible read, so I was listening to the book while doing my things here and there, and initially it was not much happening, okay, but जैसे जैसे it progressed, and oh my god, the way it has been written, the storylines, the timelines, it's just amazing. It's a 4 stars from me. And the next book I read was a physical copy of Never Lie. Oh my god, the way Frida has just written this book, I think it's one of my favorites. And I think मैंने उसके books ज़्यादा read नहीं की है, but I think I've read like 2, 3, 4 maybe. But this was like a first physical book I read from Frida, and the twists and turns this one has is mind shocking. I loved it. There's murder involved, there's death, suspense, twisty, and it's unpredictable. I just love it. The next books I read was a duet. It's called Girl in Love and the Boy in Love, and it is written by J. Crownover. I've never read book from this author ever before, but because मैं ऑडिबल पे सुनती हूँ, so I also prefer listening to free books or the books that are available, and I think these were available, तो मैंने ये पहला सुना. मतलब it's a short read, it's like not a long read. 4-hour book, 4 or 5 hour का book है ये, and I finished in less than 2 hours. So FYI, I listen to these books on 2x or more, depending on what kind of situation I am in or what kind of work I'm doing. उसके ऊपर उसका speed is dependent. I'm just going to read the review. It says, finished in less than 2 hours. This ends with cliffhanger. Already on the second book. Can't wait to know what happens next. And there's some spice on this. The Girl in Love, I gave this one like a 3 stars. I can't remember the story. I can't recall कि किस बारे में थी. But I remember first part लड़की के बारे में, and the second part is about the guy. I gave like a 3.75 stars on this one, and it says this was such a cute read. Love it a little more than the first one. That's all. This was the first book that I ever read from the author, okay? And on top of that, it was an audio book, and I have loved it so much. I think it still stays with me. I think there are very few books, because I have like a very short term memory loss kind of thing, okay? I can't remember stuff too much, तो मैं चीज़ें भूल जाती हूँ, and to be able to recollect or have those kind of books or something that you've read or heard on your mind is very different for me. So something that I remember and I can remember is like great, because as I said earlier, मुझे याद भी नहीं है कि मैंने क्या पढ़ा है इसके बारे में, but this is something that still lives with me, and I think that's the first book I read by Cara Baston. I hope मैं किसी के नाम गलत pronounce नहीं कर रही हूँ. It's called Call Me Maybe, and oh my god, it's such a good read. Like if you want a break, okay, say for example तुम बहुत ज़्यादा thriller पढ़ रहे हो और self help पढ़ रहे हो, and if you like really want a break, just listen to this one. Even if you read it, I don't think there'll be any difference, because I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think I've gave it like a 4 star. No, I gave it like a 5 star rating, and and I'm just going to read what I've written at that point of time. Oh my god, this was such a cute one. It's like a warm hug and a good laugh rolled into one. I found myself giggling throughout, and there's no spice. It's easy to read, and it was just such a good read. I remember it starts with a chick getting stuck in the traffic, और उसका gas खत्म हो जाता है, something on those lines, and she calls somebody to help, and she has some last sort of battery left, ऐसा कुछ तो है, and then they call, and oh my god, it's such a good read. I loved it. I just love it. I could still remember, and वो लोग है ना कॉल पे ही बात करते रहते हैं most of the times. So the whole book is on how they talk on over the phone, and it's just amazing. I love it. The next book I read is called The Reluctant Bride. I think this is a series called Wedded Bliss, और एक और series का नाम है, I don't know. तो फेबल पे 2 बता रहा है, but I think it's a Wedded Bliss. This is the first book, The Reluctant Bride by Monica Murphy. I've not written anything on Fable about this. I don't know मतलब क्या what I was feeling, but I think this has parts कि पहले bride का है, then the groom का है, and then there is some this. I think this has some mafia sort of a situation. Like she's from like a good well-to-do family. They're getting their marriage done because the dad has some issues, and there are some, I don't know, some princess, this, that, I can't remember, but yeah, that's on the line. I gave it like a 3 stars. Again, I read a book by Cara Baston because I felt, और I think ये second part है उसका, ये कोई series है उसका, and it's called Sweet Talk. Now I gave it like a 3.75 rate, and I was disappointed because I also read Call Me Maybe. I had like super high expectations because I loved that book. So maybe that is why, I don't know. It's a good simple read, and I think I don't think there was something related. I can't remember. If I'm wrong, just excuse me for that. But I think उसका जो पहला part है वो I liked much better. I loved that. Next book that I read was Tell Me Lies by J.P. Pomare. I'm going to read out because I don't remember क्या था. So the book has a strong start and a gripping ending, but the middle felt slow. While the conclusion was exciting, it felt rushed and needed a little more depth. Loved it though. And वो जो फेबल के पास ऑलरेडी ऑप्शन होता है उसमें से I've picked believable, death, grief, multi-layered, murder and self-harm. And I've given it like a 4 stars. It took a little while to finish, but the end was good and the start was really good. Next up, I read An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good by Helen Thurston, and this is something very different than the genres that I usually pick up. So Fable पे इसका genre is something like dark, funny and mystery, and it's very different than what we usually read, but it was like a good read. It's about Maud, who is 88 years old, so it's a very different kind of book. And I've written, Maud is a sharp-witted, and her no-nonsense problem solving makes a hilarious and refreshing read. It's unlike anything I've read before, a fresh bold take on oldies. The next one I read is called How It Ends by Rachel Housewell Hall. I gave it like a 3 stars, and this also I read it on Audible. Next I read was Too Good to Be True by Prajakta Kori. I just wanted to read it without the, you expect कि अगर इसने लिखा है तो ऐसा ऐसा होगा, and I didn't want to have my love for her just come in between my reading kind of thing. So I read it without putting that in focus कि प्राजक्ता ने लिखा है. I have given it like a 3 stars. There are things in the book that did not make sense for me. वो Chinese वाला, if you've gone through reviews on her books, there are some things which don't, like there's some gap in terms of Mumbai wali cheeze. Overall, it's a good read. So the next one that I read is called The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and again I have given it like a 5 stars. It's jaw dropping and it's amazing. I'm just going to read. I think this is my second or third book from Frida, and I have thoroughly enjoyed it. The twists and turns were jaw dropping. So it includes abuse, clever plotting, death, gripping, exciting, murder, twisty. Okay, अगर वो twisty नहीं है तो how is it Frida's book? But oh my god, the writing in this book, even though मैंने उसे Audible पे सुना है, but it is so well written. I love her writing, and I love how वैसे mind games हो जाते हैं by the end कि भाई किसने क्या किया है. It's amazing. I really love her books. The next one, again by Monica Murphy, is The Ruthless Groom. It's the second part of the series that I spoke to you about earlier, the bride wala jo tha. I've given it a 3 stars. It was very much predictable. I think iska jo last part hai is also going to be predictable, which is why I'm contemplating whether I should read or not. So I think we're done with all the books that I read. And moving forward, I am going to be discussing my 2026 TBR. In terms of books with me, मेरे साथ क्या होता है is at times I find something on Audible that is free that I can listen because I have the Plus catalog. So I don't want to also restrict myself कि I want to read यही books and I cannot go out of this list and read something else because it's not in my TBR. So I am going to keep a few gaps here and there when it comes to books so that I can pick and choose depending on what is available or what I can listen to or what I want to buy at that point of time. But I think we are majorly going to pick like 20 books, and Fable is going to pick few books for me. So my goal is to read as many physical books I can and read the books that not physical in terms of कि मैंने नहीं खरीद ली और then I'm reading the physical copies. It's moreover to read what I already have. I just don't want to buy books and keep on collecting books and then not read them at all. Also want to finish books that I've left unread. So there was this book called The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, and मैंने उसका इतना book पढ़ा है. So this much is remaining. इधर से मैंने डिसकंटिन्यू कर दिया उसको पढ़ना. So I also want to finish books that I've started but I have not finished. So most of my books जो मैं अभी बता रही हूँ थोड़े बहुत are gifted, okay? So I've not spent my money. I think my Masi gave it to me because she used to read books and then she shifted abroad, so she gave me her books, and so few of them are because of her. So I think this is also one of hers only, I'm not sure. It's by Earl Stanley Gardner. Perry Mason वाला सीरीज़ है, The Case of the Hesitant Hostess. ना ये वाली बुक्स के बारे में मैंने देखा. I think there are multiple series, but I asked ChatGPT if I could read it without reading the previous book because I think this is on number 47 or something, and it said it's okay, there's no need because वो ऐसा कोई connection series नहीं है. You can read it as is. This is the next book that I want to finish. Next is this. I want to finish reading this one, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. It's also a film, so I can probably read this and then watch a film. Just Take My Heart by Mary Higgins Clark. So this is how it looks. I am not sure what is this about, but because I said there are some books that have been gifted to me, I want to finish reading them. So it's a fiction thriller, so I think I'll be able to finish it. The next one I have is by Lisa Jewell. This one is called Then She Was Gone. And I also have The Silent Patient. I have started reading this. थोड़ा बहुत मैंने पढ़ा है, but I don't remember, so I'm going to read it, the start of it. I was one of those जिसको लगता था self-help books is the way to go. I have too many self-help books with me at this point and I've not read it. You would not believe. 5, 6, 7. जैसे मैंने एक भी नहीं पढ़ी है. I think और होगी, which I'm not sure. But these are the books that I've not even read yet. I love the books that you can read from any single page you open. For example, this one, I've read almost half of those. So the self-help books that I have, which you can actually read from anywhere, any part of the book, any page, and be okay with that information. I have few books like that and I've not read completely. So even this one I've not finished completely, but I've read like almost half of it. But I just want to go back to this one. It's called 1000+ Little Things Happy Successful People Do Differently. Now it's a good thick book. I have got it in hardcover. और ये बुक है ना, ये तुम कहीं से भी खोलो, ओके, इवन इफ आई एम ओपनिंग लाइक दिस और ये बीच का हिस्सा है, एंड इफ आई रीड इट, आई एम प्राइसलेस इन समवन्स आईज. Being with someone who overlooks your worth isn't loyalty, it's total waste of what could be. Focus on those who love and accept you for those who you are, and shower them with the love and kindness they deserve. And above all, cherish the people who saw you when you were invisible to everyone else. Can you imagine? Even after मैं बीच में से खोल रही हूँ, I can still read it and it will make the utmost sense. And I think it was from the chapter called 10 Things to Tell Yourself Today. I've read it so much in the initial 2021 वाला time. I think I bought it in 2021 if I'm not wrong. So ऐसी वाली जो books है ना is also this one called 101 essays that will change the way you think. By the looks of it, you can guess I have read it, but not completely. Again, मैंने इसे भी बीच में से पढ़ा है. So even if you open ऐसे रैंडम पेज, इसका ये है, एवरी रिलेशनशिप यू हैव इज विथ योर सेल्फ. ओ माई गॉड. एंड देन यू रीड दैट पार्ट. सो इट्स लाइक 1 पेज, ऐसे 2-3 पेज. सो the next one was like 15 little ways to deepen your relationship with anyone. So these kind of books I really love a lot. So yeah, the next one is this. I want to try reading these two at least, and I also want to finish this one by Louise Hay called You Can Heal Your Life. She took me along to, you know, pick any book that I like, and I think he bought me a book, but I already had that book, so we just got this one. He gifted me this, so I also want to read this and finish it up. So there's this one book that I want to read anyhow, but I think the first book I'll read by this author is called Men Without Women. I have an audio version of it, and the next one I want to read is this one. Now this is thick, okay, and Murakami is not easy read, ऐसा मैंने बहुत सुना है. Even Prajakta loves Murakami, but it's, I don't know. I did start this book, but मैंने इसे भी finish नहीं किया. I think I read like very few pages, okay. So it's called The Wind Up Bird Chronicle, and I want to read this book this year. So it is going in my 2026 TBR. I want to finish reading. It's a thick one, but let's see how quickly we finish it. I also want to finish reading The Housemaid's Secret and The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. It's the series, and मैंने इसका first part पढ़ा है. I think first part का movie आया है as of now. So yeah, I want to finish reading that. From the Cara Baston series जो मैंने पढ़ी थी, उसमें से 2 मैंने finish किए. So there's this last book called The Seatmate, and I'm currently listening to it. It's fun so far. I think we are going to ask Fable to pick some books for us. This is where you have all your books that you want to read, and then Scout picks the books for you. So we are going to ask Scout to pick a book for us. I hope ये अच्छी आए यार. मैंने बहुत सारे actually ऐड करके रखे Fable को. Okay, it says If Something Happens to Me by Alex Finlay. Okay, let's see. Now let's pick second book. I'm excited. So this is Wild Eyes by LC Silver. Now this is actually a series, तो मुझे लग रहा है I don't know which part is this, but I think I'll have to read first part in order to read this one. It's called the Rose Hill series. इसका ये book 2 है. I'll start with book 1. Instead of this I'll go for the book 1 because then it doesn't make sense. या तो फिर मैं book 1 पढूँ और फिर मैं book 2 पढूँ तो कोई बात बनती है. Next we are going to pick one more. We are going to pick 3 books by this one, and let's see the next pick. Oh, I think Scout wants me to explore LC Silver. Now I have not read any of her books, and again उसने मेरे को recommend किया है LC Silver का Wild Side. Again I know for a fact कि series का कोई part है, so I'm going to skip this recommendation and we're going to pick another. So because then it does not make sense. I want to explore more authors also. So let's see. It's picking again. Okay, it's by Dervla McTarian का book है ये, called The Scholar. So this is the next book that we will find and read. Now I also wanted to do business reads. I recently started a brand and I also want to read some books which are business related. So the book I want to read is called Hard Things About the Hard Things. I also want to read The Diary of a CEO. I also want to read The Psychology of Money. One key to finishing so many books was Audible. Listening to Audible while doing chores like cleaning, cooking, and even commuting made it so much easier to get through big books without having to sit down and read cover to cover every time. Over time, once I got like a rhythm and reading consistently with audiobook, I slowly transitioned to more physical books. It's like building a habit. Once you're comfortable, you can do more. Another huge help for me was Fable. Seeing what other readers are enjoying and their reviews kind of inspired me to pick the books that I would not pick in the first place. It kept me motivated and connected to the community of readers. Besides Audible and Fable, another tip is setting small realistic reading goals. So I started using Fable in 2024, okay, and at that time my reading goal was just reading 3 books, and I managed to read 6 books, which is where the motivation came from. And I wanted to read 25 books last year, and it was, honestly speaking, because of Audible I was able to do most of it, but it was an unrealistic goal also for me to set to read 25 books in a year. From reading 6 books to jumping to 25 is like a huge jump, a major jump. But I think also because Audible helped me, I was able to reach at 17 books. Okay, just start small, and you could do like reading 10 pages a day or 20 pages a day. Make goals that you know you will be able to achieve, and then moving forward, like month on month, you can increase your goals. As and when you move forward, you can keep increasing those goals. It's not necessary that once you set a goal you can't revisit those goals and change your goals. So for example, if you set a goal of reading 3 books a year, okay, and then once you are done with those 3 books, say in the span of 6 months you're done with your 3 books, then what? So then you set another goal for those 6 months that are left, and you could go from, because now you know you were able to pull off reading 3 books in the span of 6 months, so you would want to achieve more than what you achieved last time. So you could set a goal of reading 6 books in 6 months, or doing like 4 or 5 books in the remaining 6 months. Okay, so that's how you build the reading goal, and that's how you'll be able to achieve your goal. And make sure those goals are realistic and they fit in your daily routine. So for me, majorly I listen to when I'm doing things, say cleaning, or probably at times I do listen to them while I'm editing a video. You can also listen to those books while sleeping. In the end, it was not just about finishing books. So I don't read books to just finish it off. It's also to create a sustainable habit for me that kind of works for me. I hope these things help you in any way and help you finish reading. If you've read any books that I have, let me know how did you find those books and what are your thoughts on it. And if you have already read what's in my TBR, you could drop in a comment. Let me know how those books are. Give me your suggestions. What do you think I should be reading next? If you like this video, give it a big fat thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.